Welcome to The Sear Show. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of health, wellness, mindset, and fitness with the unparalleled guidance of lifelong knowledge seekers, Sifu Raphael and Nikki Gangemi. Sifu and Nikki will unlock groundbreaking insights with extraordinary guests from around the globe. You'll get the latest holistic approaches to well-being with a sharp focus on the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul. Get ready to take the leap. It's time to embrace a brighter and healthier future with us at The Sear Show.
Good morning, Teal. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm feeling amazing. Good morning, brother. How are you doing this morning?
Exceptional and getting better every day. I want to thank you for stepping in and co-hosting with me. I know Nikki could not be here today. And wow, what a powerful man you are. And I love that you said, I got you. I got you, bro.
Yes, always, man. Anything I could do uh to be in the presence with you, good brother, you know I'm there. And definitely big, big salute to Nikki. I know, she's your co-host and I've watched this show before and uh it's needed, man. If
Mm.
if I could say anything, it's really needed. And for those watching, trust me, man, these are the moments that you want to use that supercharge, like charging up a Tesla, man. You supercharge, come in, rock with Sifu and Nikki. So yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here, to be a part of something that I know that's amazing and great.
Well, you're a blessing, and we have someone else who is a blessing to both of us, and that is Alethea. Welcome to the Sear Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning, everybody. It is an honor being here with you today. And shout out to my girl, Nikki. I miss
Yes,
you, Nikki, and I love you.
yes,
So
yes.
one of the concepts and ideas that we're going to talk about today is mastering instincts. And one of the things that we want to do about that is brain leadership. How do we develop leadership for stronger teams, stronger unity, stronger family, even? So that's a big topic, and we can take it in a direction because when we think of mindset, that's leadership, right? When we think of bringing people together, that's leadership. But we also have to be the best leader for us. We have to look in the mirror first, right? So, who wants to take a little tackle at this?
Well, I have to admit, something that some might not know about me is I am a nerd to the fullest and a proud nerd at that. So
Love it.
hearing this topic excites me completely. But when I think about this entire aspect about instincts and thinking about leadership in the brain, it takes me back to those days when I was a public school educator for 20 years
Mm,
and I was doing part-time entrepreneurship, but it takes me to the concept of metacognition, thinking
mm,
about your thinking. And I think that is the number one key for a leader is to think about your thinking. What are your thoughts? What are you processing? Before we can even get to how our mindsets are, I think it's important for a leader to be intentional about thinking about how we think. Because when we think about how we think, that directly influences what we do in our business, with our teams, in our own personal life. And so
mm.
that's where I think that that brain leadership starts is that root and foundation of thinking about your thinking.
Wow. Okay. The show is done. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Oh my
No, no,
God,
it's
That
not,
was such
man.
insightful. Thank you.
It's not done. It's not
not
because
at all.
it's that's coming in with that force of leadership. I'm a proud member of Resilient Leaders Alliance, and that's something that this young lady crafted, created, and has put out to the world where leaders can come in and be within that think tank to learn truly how to think, how to think. 'Cause there's someone saying it right now. Think how I think. How do I do that? Well, I tell you, get in the Resilience Leaders Alliance with Alethea Felton, and trust me, man, you'll be learning things from how to think, to how to implement, how to think, to how to operate on the fly with certain leadership situations that is definitely going to come up, regardless if you think it will or not. Situations and issues will arise. So
Thank you.
RLA, make sure you lock in
Mm,
RLA. Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. I appreciate
love
that.
it. I love
Wasn't
that.
Yes.
expecting that. But I am curious, if it's not too much, when it comes to your own leadership patterns, whether leading yourself or leading others, what's that foundational step for you two?
Mm. Let me go with everything we've been talking about and answer that. For me, you basically said, think about what I'm thinking. And I think the best way to do that is through journaling, to taking notes.
Mm,
See, I have my pad here and I'm taking notes and taking notes and taking notes. And sometimes I do the same thing when I go to church,
mhm,
when the pastor's speaking, because I'm not writing his exact words. I'm writing what I am interpreting. And what I'm interpreting is because that's what I'm thinking. So when I journal, that's all me. When you speak and I take notes on it, I'm not writing word for word what you're saying because I can't take your brilliance. I can only understand your brilliance, but I can never be in your brain. I can never fully understand where that genius came from, but I can interpret it. So for me, it's how do I interpret who I am? And for me, it's definitely journaling. I got to brain dump. I got to put things down in paper. I have all kinds of ideas and concepts, and a lot of them, they'll go into a little pad like this. And then sometimes I'll put it in a different book, right? And,
Right.
and then sometimes I even created this one for some people to do just the other day, right?
Yes.
And then I take all of that stuff because it could be mumble jumble, right? But it makes sense to me.
mhm,
And then I organize it. And then I have my remarkable too. And then I go in there and I put ideas and concepts in one area. I do maybe things I want to talk about, things I learned, books I'm reading. And so sometimes when I'm even reading a book, what I do with that book is I interpret it one more time. I'm not rewriting the book because that'd be silly. I'm interpreting what it is that I received and I put it in my own thoughts, my own idea. Now it became mine. This is why I love reading. This
mm,
is why I love listening. This is why when you both speak, I'm like wowed because what I'm interpreting is filling me. So thank you.
mm,
Yes. If I may, same exact concept, brother Sifu, and the word that comes to mind is fortify. How do we as leaders uh, fortify? How do we as leaders fortify? If you're out there, you're watching, listening, driving to work, handling whatever business you have to handle, when you get to your destination, if you're driving, put that in your phone, put it in your notes. How do I fortify as a leader?
mhm,
It's right
Because
here.
absolutely, hey, you're leading by example. You're journaling on the spot, as you just said. But mastering the instincts. When I think of the word instinct, I think of layman terms, I think going with your gut, that gut feeling, that internal, that intuitive feeling that you feel within your spirit as a leader. Um, and that gut feeling, a lot of times, you need to go with it. We talk about taking risk, born to risk. We talk about you have to
Mhm.
put yourself out there. You can't be afraid to lead.
Mm.
One thing about leaders are not afraid to lead. Leaders sometimes are afraid to make mistakes,
Hmm.
sometimes afraid that they may get it wrong or embarrass themselves or whatever the case. But the bottom line is going with the gut and being fortified with systems in you, not so much systems all out around you, but you have to have systems placed within you. So
Mhm.
I'll throw the word out there because I know, definitely my two fellow leaders here, they understand it wholeheartedly. And that's habits, building habits. To think how you think in some way or form or fashion. I know for me, it has to be a habitual thing. It has to be habitual. I have to, no different than someone goes to the gym. When a lot of people go to the gym, they have a same set pattern that they do when they get to the gym. Okay, I'm gonna hit the treadmill. Then
Mhm.
from there, I'm going to this, or I'm gonna stretch first, and then I'm gonna do some calisthenics, and then I'm gonna go to the weight room. They usually stay organized with how they operate in the gym, right? Same goes for how you move throughout each day as a leader, building those daily habits. It's a habit stacking, ensuring that from the time I get up to the time I lay down, I have it written down exactly time, a system within me that keeps me on track and how to operate. So big win. Instinct, going with your gut, being
Mhm.
fortified with that, making sure you're fortified, i.e., the habits stacking that you're doing, the key things that you're doing to develop that mastery. So mastering instincts, it's great. I've thought back to you two building habits.
Mhm.
What are some of the habits that you two do as leaders uh, to stay locked in your system to operate at a high level? What are some of your habits?
Well, I know that for me, one of the habits that I've had to develop, especially in my business and being around so many highly successful entrepreneurs in general, is the method of a calendaring system, having a habit of being consistent with my calendaring. It's ironic because I did that in my career with everything that I had to do, but transferring it into the business world when you are your own supervisor and you must
Yes.
hold yourself accountable, that habit of being consistent is one of the practices that comes to mind. And if I could just go back briefly, when you talk about this concept of fortifying, I'm such
Mhm.
a visual person. So I'm thinking about different things outside of people that are fortified as time goes on. And one of the things that I think is so important to remember when it comes to even the consistency as well as implementation of habits is going back to our thinking of keeping in mind a real stat where 80% of our thoughts are what's considered negative.
Mhm.
95% of our thoughts are repetitive. And so, even those of us who are leaders can sometimes almost go down rabbit holes with our
Mhm.
thinking unless we practice the art of consistent practicing of changing our thinking, shifting our minds, and it takes
Yes.
daily
Yes.
practice. I've come across so many people, whether they're in leadership or not, I'm talking about over the years with the thousands of adults as well as children in the past that I worked with who think that there's something wrong with them because of how they think. And I must
Mhm.
remind them it's nothing wrong. That's human nature, but we have the ability. to control our thinking and to not allow our circumstances to dictate how we operate. And so the habit, in terms of what we implement daily, it takes work. And what I find
Yes.
is that sometimes people, it's so much easier to make the excuse as to why. And I'm talking to myself too. I haven't always been where I am, and it's daily practice. We can make excuses about everything else going on in our world and try to pass the buck, so to speak, without reflecting on our thoughts, how we're thinking, and how we are practicing daily to make those habits fortified, consistent, and strengthened in our life. And so that's why it's important, even with that calendaring piece, is just one habit of many that I do implement. And then the last thing that I'll say is, when we focus on practicing certain habits, others, if we're not careful, can drift by the wayside. And then we must again retrain our thinking,
Yes.
retrain our brain. And as we elevate, there comes to a point where we tap out of where we once were. And so then we have to shift again and go even higher in our
Yes.
thoughts and what we do. And so we really must be mindful of the way we think. Our minds control so much of
Mm.
what even happens in our life. We're all people of faith and trust in God, but I
Mm.
always say God is not a genie in a bottle and does not grant wishes. We
That's
must
right.
still put in the work to allow things to happen in our lives in the way that we choose, regardless of our circumstances.
I guess it's my turn to go after that. So
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
say ditto. I'm just kidding.
Keep going
Oh
higher.
my gosh, you're
Keep
hilarious.
taking
I
it
love
higher.
it. I'm sorry, y'all. I get passionate. I'm a nerd.
Keep
Proud of
taking it
Hey,
higher,
listen,
man.
because you're speaking my language, Alethea. Here's the thing, right? Many, 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 many years ago, I decided that habits were not going to control my life.
Mm,
I'm
Mhm.
controlling the habits that will improve and reflect my life.
That's right.
So every day, I acknowledge every motion and action I take. What do I normally say to people when they say, "How are you?" I say, "Exceptional and getting better
mhm.
every day." Have I said that to either one of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Why? Because that's one of my things. I start in the morning. One of my first things that I do, and it's become a really good habit, gratitude. My intentions are there.
Mhm.
I thank God for the gifts He's given me, and then
Yes.
I go through this long kind of prayer for everybody that I love, everybody who's going through something, or maybe who's doing great, but I want to help them continue that. And so it's not about me; it starts with me, but then I open it up to everyone else, and that's the first habit I hit every morning. And before I fall asleep, right?
Mhm.
So during the day, sometimes I will be somewhere and I'll think of somebody and I'll pray for them.
Mhm.
Or I'll think about someone and I'll go, I haven't talked to them in a bit. So then instead of me going, yeah, okay, I'll talk to them eventually, I'll just reach out and text them. How you doing? And even if they don't respond or it takes them a while to respond, I'm not annoyed because I was an interruption.
Mhm.
Maybe it was a good interruption, or maybe like, "Oh, no, he's calling me, he's texting me." I'm not worried about that. I did what was in my heart and what was in my mind. So I said, "You know what? I'm gonna become a habit master."
Mm.
And people always say to me, "How do you do what you do?" And I basically say, "I don't have fear. I'm okay to
Mm.
fail. I'm okay to try. And they're like, you do this, you do this, you do that. One time my fiance was playing a game. She goes, I want to play a game with you. I said, okay, shoot. She goes, let's play a game on what jobs you haven't had.
Mm,
Wow.
Because I am not afraid to tackle anything. And I'm not one of those guys that want to, the old saying is master of one or master of none, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's if I'm going to look at something, I go deep. I go
yeah,
deep because I know that we have the ability to learn and grow, but we have to go for it. We have to get into the space where fear usually lives and destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get into a place where others will never dare to go because life is for living. I think, Tio, I might have said this to you on Sunday. And I know I said it to Brandon. I said, I'm not afraid of dying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid of not living.
yeah,
And
Mm-hmm.
that's my drive. I want to live every day. I want to plan my days. I don't want anyone else planning my days. Don't get me
right.
wrong. I may have somebody, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Yes, let me check my schedule and see if I can.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at habits, are we in the habit of being a yes person? Because I'm not. And a lot of people say, man, you always agree. Because I did a mental check. Do I have the bandwidth to be there for you? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, when we create a habit that will guide us, because there's good habits and there's bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking, not a good habit. Drinking excessively, not a good habit. Drugs, not a good habit. Now, eating healthy, could that be a good habit? Or just eating? See, there's a difference, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, how do I eat my foods? Right now, I am on a fast. And my fiance shook her head yesterday. She goes, you haven't eaten all day since yesterday. And that was yesterday she said that to me. And I go, no, she goes, ah. Gets mad at me. But I'm not allowing her to judge because she's judging me. I'm not allowing that to hit home for me
Mm-hmm.
because that's her thoughts. You have to eat, you must be hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Yes,
fasting because it brings clarity. It revitalizes my body. I am full of energy. I'm over 30 somewhat hours and not eating. That doesn't mean I'm not living. I am
right.
cleansing. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't cleanse. They just keep stockpiling, stockpiling, stockpiling. And I'm going to stop stockpiling now and let you guys have some room to breathe and speak as well.
It's all good, man. I mean, I'm listening to you, Seafood,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he really does what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in your presence. I was with you this weekend in the physical. You know, many of us we can get online as we all three know, and we can shape things to look like it's so marvelous, so amazing, and
That's right.
and we turn the camera off and we're binge eating Oreos and smoking cigarettes or doing whatever. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
reality. But when you really see a leader that is exuberating the things that they say, the Shifu's that.
Mm-hmm.
Alethea, you and I, we've never met in person, but the first time we met, man, the spirit of God was so strong.
Mm,
It was like we went into another realm in the spirit, and it was just boom. And from that day, it's been amazing to see
Mm-hmm.
your journey, Alethea. It's
Thank
it's
you.
been that's real talk. Like
mm,
it's been amazing to learn from you. It's been amazing to say uh, to myself that hey, man, there's other leaders out there that that critically think about leadership like I do, and it
Mhm.
feels good. And when I look at that title, Seafood, brain leadership for stronger teams,
Mhm.
brain leadership, and that's what we're talking about. Some people, you may not have caught it, but we're talking about mindset. That's up in here. We're talking about thinking how we think. That's up in here. We're talking about building habits. That starts up in here. So
Mhm.
you can see the theme all throughout, and to be able to sit with the real leaders. I'm not a I'm you both know me, man. Like I'm just happy right now because, man, my energy, uh my spinach like Popeyes is building on leadership,
Yeah.
because leadership is required in everything that we do. Everything, no matter what it is. It takes leadership to get on this live and build with individuals with the thinking power of how do
Mhm.
we help the leaders out there be better for their team. And their team may not be this corporate, executive suite at the Coca-Cola plant downtown Atlanta. Their
Mhm.
team, their team may be the three guys that got a weed eat 50 yards today, and rake up leaves 50 different yards in a day is a lot. I mean,
That's
it
right.
it crushes me just to do my own yard. So I could imagine 50 so yards that
Mhm.
a leader has to, ensure that he's keeping his team of landscapers locked in. And these are the moments that, you know, really build leaders. So I'm just, I'm in awe right now to hear the things you all are
Mhm.
talking about, because the things that you're talking about is the success. That's the real success. That's the real what you just said, Sifu. Sifu. I don't want to die, or not. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of living.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. I'm
Mhm.
I'm not a, I'm not afraid of leading. I'm afraid of not leading,
Mhm.
because so many other people get affected if I choose not to lead. So yeah,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts, Alethea? What's your thoughts?
I was thinking that when it comes to even talking about that concept of not fearing death, both of you know a lot of my journey, and I definitely don't fear death. I've faced it a lot in my life. Thankfully,
Yes.
I'm, great now, but even with me in the spiritual realm, part of why I don't fear death, and I'll bring it back to this leadership aspect, is that you all know I've had 3 documented near death experiences, actual NDEs, where I've seen things in the supernatural, all of that. So
Yes.
I don't fear what happens after this, but it's more of a concept for me, something that my pastor, Keith Battle in Maryland, said one time years ago, even prior to it being a slogan. But he brought up the concept of he wants to die empty, meaning
Yes.
die
Yes.
poured out.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
that he has inside of him, we need to die empty, meaning fulfill the work and the plan that we have here on earth before we transition. And so, even as a leader, I think it's important for those watching and even us thinking about those of whom we lead. Are we every day, and Seafood pretty much nailed it, but are we truly fulfilling and living how we say we are living and what we say we're going to do? Are we
Mm.
imperfect people? Yes. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
sometimes we miss the mark, but only we can hold ourselves accountable. I'll never forget my boyfriend had to, and I say this with the most endearment, ladies, don't come after me, but I'm just going to keep it plain. He had to lovingly check me one time because I was so big on, baby, hold me accountable for, working out, going to the gym. Prior to me being with him, I was a beast in terms of lifting, training for competition, and then COVID hit. I mean, just a beast in the gym, and life at times gets stressful. And I slacked off. And, I had told him, I said, Brandon, hold me accountable, blah, blah, blah. And he said, baby, I know that you always telling me that, but you can hold yourself accountable. You know what to do. I can
Right.
tell you, but it's still up to you to make the choice to be consistent.
Right.
I could not clap back at him because he was absolutely right. And so it goes for us as leaders. The reason I bring up that example is, as leaders, we may be telling our team to do something, and it's great, and they might be running with it, implementing it. But then we must examine ourselves, and it goes to the concept of integrity, how
Yeah.
brain leadership also connects with integrity, because what we're processing and what we're telling our teams, are we doing it ourselves? And that is so vitally
Yes.
important when we're leading teams. And I think, now people may disagree, but I think that a ship or a crew is only as strong as its captain. And sometimes when everything's falling apart and crumbling, we must go back to look at who's at the top, who is the leader, what are they doing to make certain that their communication style, their integrity, their consistent working on their thoughts and patterns and habits, is that being transferred on to the team. And
Right.
I know that oftentimes, and I say this in love to my former educators, it's easy sometimes for the teachers to blame the principal to blame teachers. But at the end of the day, if our leader is telling us this is what we need to do, then that leader, whether it's in business, whether it's a blue collar job, whatever, we must make certain that the leaders are living out the principles of which they are telling others to do.
That's
Man,
powerful.
seafood.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Seafood, Alethea. There's a lot of people that are disgruntled based on what you just said, Alethea. The fact that they know 100% that their leadership is not leading by example. Period, point blank. I was one of those individuals as a United States Marine. When I got to the highest level, I had already been told there's two doors, T.O. Clay. You're either going to go through the door of authenticity and remaining true to who you are and continuing on with doing the things that you've always done that got you here, or you're going to go through this door, which is murky. It's whispers going on. It's all of these backdoor, back channel things that will have you out here lost in the sauce type thing. So
Mhm.
I'm grateful today. This marvelous day. I believe today is what, you all, the 17th of September,
Yes.
2025.
Hmm.
I chose the door of staying true to who I am as a leader, right? So now I see the benefits of it. I'm long removed from the United States Marine Corps, but I'm still intact and in tune with a lot of the individuals that I led over the years. And, I think that's something, Alethea, like you said, it's we have to lead by example. And it
Hmm.
starts back with the opening of this episode. It starts with the mind, the body, and the spirit. It starts with the discipline. I literally, and this won't happen, brother Seafood, but I literally could be on this call, this episode with you all till midnight tonight talking about leadership. And I mean that because
Let's do it.
because let's be honest, man, like, you two are phenomenal leaders. And it's displayed daily, consistently. When the storms hit,
Hmm.
when situations are going on, you too, Shifu Raphael and Alethea Felton, you too continue to lead, man. And I see it. So for me, being ingrained as a United States Marine in an atmosphere of lead by example, no matter how you feel, no matter what the weather's like, no matter who died at home, no
Hmm.
matter they're going what, you have to lead because these Marines' lives depend on that. It's different stakes. It's a different stake when you know the decisions I'm making is life or death for this individual underneath me. That's
Mm.
a whole different ball game. And then you blink and it ends. And it's like, okay, now I have to go back to, like you said earlier, Alethea, I got to look in the mirror and I got to reflect as a leader. Not saying we don't make mistakes because we all do.
Mhm.
But when you make that mistake, are you character wise humble enough to go back to that individual as a leader and say, hey, I was wrong?
That's another level.
Ooh, hey, I'm going
True.
to leave it there. What you think? Thoughts, seafood, thoughts.
Mm.
Well, before I do that, let me share this because you talked about consistency. You talked about true leadership, but sometimes some leaders are not fully leading themselves. Let me share
Yes.
this with you.
Mhm.
You followed the rules, tried the restrictions, counted the carbs, the steps, and the failures. You're not lazy, you're exhausted from doing it all without real change. What if the problem isn't you, but the plan? Sifu's Mind Body Method is a 90-day transformation built on 7 unshakable pillars: mindset, movement, nutrition, hydration, fasting, journaling, and faith. This isn't another shortcut. It's your structure, your strength, your reset. You don't need harder, you need better. Ready to begin? Start today. Yes, yes. So think
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
what, 7 pillars, right? I'm doing one of them now, aren't I?
Mm,
The fasting part.
Mhm.
yes. Yes.
So when we think about every day when we engage with ourselves, and as a leader, one of the things that a lot of people don't do is take care of them. I can't lead you, and Theo, you and I had this conversation that somebody who is not doing the right thing cannot lead others to do the right thing.
Mhm.
That's right.
And when we think we're doing the right thing, but when somebody calls us out and say, "Hey, wait a minute, you're not doing the right thing," how are you trying to help anybody else? You need
Yeah.
help first.
Yes.
You need help.
That's right.
You need someone to help you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes as leaders, we think we have it all, yet we don't.
Mhm.
Listen, I have coaches, I have mentors, and sometimes I will share an idea and they're like, no. And I'm like,
Mm.
Mhm.
I don't want to take the no at face value. I'm going to go, okay, I respect you. Why did you say no? Because if they just say no and they have nothing to back up the no, where they're coming from.
Mhm.
If I
Wow.
say no to you, I have to be able to back up my no.
Yeah.
Just as if I say yes, I have to be able to back up my yes. So if somebody asks me for advice and I say, don't do it that way, do it this way, and then I walk away, they're going to go, he's full of it. But if I say, do it this way, and I'm going to explain to you why, now all of a sudden, I've invested myself into their situation.
Mm.
And that's what's going to make me a better friend, a better mentor, a better coach, a better human being. But when I'm instilling my the wisdom that I've gathered, and the wisdom that I've gathered is not my own alone. It's from everybody. It's from all the different books, from the conversations we've had, all of that. Because when I internalize a message,
Mhm.
when Theo spoke on Sunday and he internalized this message about the 1970 with Madison Square Garden, the guy was not even born yet, right? He was born in
Mhm.
1976, but he was able to still capture that moment because he heard about it.
Mhm.
So he internalized it and he made sense of it.
Mhm.
Just like, listen, I was not around for World War II, but I can understand what happened. When people are prosecuted negatively, wrongly, I can empathize because maybe somebody has judged me incorrectly without knowing all the facts.
Mhm.
So when we start to do all these different things, we
Mm.
have to realize that sometimes we need to say, I need help.
Right.
So I created Sifu's Mind Body Method because that's the lifestyle I live.
Mhm.
Jose even took a picture of me. He goes, Sifu's eating healthy at the New York City
I saw
experience.
that. Yeah.
He's like,
I
"He's
saw
eating
that.
healthy." So
Mhm.
when you think about it, is where do you do your thing? Do you do it in private or do you do it in public or do you do it all the time? So for
Mhm.
me is if I say it, I do it.
That's
And
good.
and I'm leading me first.
That's good.
And what bothers me and the reason I created Sifu's Mind Body Method is because I see so many incredible minds that are not understanding the one thing, and that's their vessel. This
Mhm.
is the vessel. This is so on Saturday, I'm going to be part of the Connect Leaders Academy Summit, and one of my speech is going to be about commanding the vessel.
Mhm.
Your
That's really good.
vessel, think of it as a ship, right? A big, big ship. You can't command that by yourself.
That's right.
You need everybody. You need a crew. You need everybody in order to command that vessel. But there is leadership, and leadership comes down. But even the lowest person on the team or the leadership platform needs to understand the order, their role. What is happening? How is it happening? And how do I affect it? Because when that chain is broken, things collapse.
Mm.
Mm.
Be the leader you want others to look at.
Mhm. Mm.
So good, man. Shout out to Big Mo. I see Big Mo out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
hey.
Big
We love
Big
Mo.
Big
Mo.
Mo.
Yes, I love Big Mo.
Yeah. Big
Wow.
Mo. Big Mo, man. Like
Big
we
Mo.
rode together, man, this whole weekend.
Yes.
And I was blessed to hear Mo open up in
Mm.
Paterson, New Jersey. Dr. Lotus Rashay at the Men Must Exhale Conference summit. And Mo, there's only a few people that I know in life, man, that just has a natural knack for
Mm.
being in spaces and that love just, you know, just
Mhm.
moving throughout the atmosphere. Mo's one of those people. Mo's like if Heavy D, the old school rapper Heavy D, when he walks in the room, everybody just feels good. Like, man,
Yeah.
Big Mo had his backpack on, Alethea
Mm.
Seafood. We're walking through the city, and he had his logo on the back of his backpack. And as we were walking, people would just be like, "Big Mo," and we looking around like who knows Big Mo up here? And
Everybody knows Big Mo.
I
right,
love it.
and they would point at his backpack and be like, "Big Mo," and man, Big Mo, like it was like they was championing Big Mo on type thing. But man, we love you, Mo, man, and I thank you. I
Yes.
I, I say it on this forum, bro. Like I thank you for being my road dog, bro. I
Mhm.
appreciate you. That to me, that's leadership. It's leadership when we're faced with different aspects of adversity and we come together as a team. Yeah, and we use our brain leadership to get through whatever challenges that we're
Mhm.
facing. And shout out to your wife, Big Mo, Cindy. If she ever
Yes.
sees this, thank you for relinquishing your husband to come and be with old T.O. to go and pour and be around our other He-Man brothers. And man, it's just a pleasure. But wow, man, this is
I gotta
really good
say,
right here.
I,
I gotta say, I was blessed because you signed my book, and
That's right.
Big Mo signed my book, right? So think about
Yes.
that, and
Wow.
I'm gonna read what Big Mo wrote, if Big Mo's okay with it. He said, "Your energy is contagious, and your smile brightens many people's day." This almost sounds like bromance. Keep making an impact with you just being you, Big Mo.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
yes,
Good.
Big Mo. It is a
yeah.
bromance, man.
That's good.
Look,
Amongst,
I want to jump in here really quickly just to say something. I've been reflecting on what Sifu said particularly, and it makes me think about the fact, and I want to speak to any leader, whether they're watching live or will watch later, any leader who's navigating or juggling leadership on their team, so in their profession, whether it's business or career, and navigating leadership in their home life.
Yeah.
The things that people don't see on the Facebook reels or the
That's right.
Instagram reels or the YouTube shorts.
That's right.
And even the most well polished leader can really be going through heck and high water
Oh
behind
man.
closed doors and people have no idea. I'm open with the fact I don't go into details, but I'm a caregiver and entrepreneur. And the caregiving role was not something that was planned or expected, but life happens. And when you
Right.
have aging parents, you all know I'm open about my father specifically having stage 4 cancer and dementia. It's not Alzheimer's, so he still knows us, but to have a version of a parent that you once knew, and it's not exactly that way anymore. It's literally navigating a lot. And then my mom, she's had surgeries, and so she still temporarily can't drive. Dad can't drive anymore. And so navigating that leadership. And then with me, sometimes leaders can have traits that can be good, but also harmful. And something I've
Mhm.
had to break away from is that trait of perfectionism,
Yeah.
wanting things to be right, wanting, I'm not a people pleaser, but you want to do things in excellence and in
Hmm.
helping. And I've had to learn, and this is what I encourage leaders, men and women. It doesn't matter whether you're a new person in leadership. I got into leadership young. I'm in my 40s now, but I got into leadership in my 20s. And so, whether you're young or seasoned as a leader, the thing about it is be okay with the transitions in life where you may have to operate in your leadership differently than you would have when circumstances were another way. And again, going back to the brain aspect of it, it goes back into even having that fight, flight, or freeze response. And all of that goes back to the brain. And when you think about it, you can either fight what's happening and just go head on and say, yeah, I'm going to conquer this. Or you can freeze up and say paralyzed, or you can just run away and act like it doesn't exist. As a
Mm.
leader, it's up to you to make the decision on how you're going to approach those challenges in life because it happens. And I share my story not for people to feel pity over me, because I don't feel sorry for myself. This can happen to anyone in a different way, and we
Mm.
all go through something.
That's
Yours
right.
might not look like mine, mine might not look like yours. But part of the human experience and human connection is we all go through challenges, and we can use that as a way to, again, fortify our
Mm.
leadership, to strengthen us, to build us, to make us even more courageous and resilient than we ever have before. Or we can choose to shrink back,
Mm.
allow fear to consume us, or you can keep walking in step and in tow while taking care of yourself first. Because if you're
Yes.
not good to you, you're not good to anyone else. And then breathing, moving forward, thinking. With me, I say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's
Christ
right.
like doorway, but for me, that keeps me going. And to knowing that I have God also within me to say that I can do this, but also leaders, allowing those on your team and people who believe in you to pour into you and to let them also serve you.
Wow, we can go on forever, like midnight,
Yeah.
like Theo said. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
I have another show I have to get to. So you
Yes.
guys, wow, I need you both back on the show, right?
Yes.
And my next show is in 8 minutes, so I got to get over
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you both. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. Please share with us what people can expect when they jump on with you. Alethea, if you don't mind going first.
Sure. So I'm Alethea Felton. I help leaders master resilience and transform setbacks into unstoppable breakthroughs. And when you connect with me, you will find that I am a professional transformational speaker. I'm a transformational specialist. I create digital products for entrepreneurs. And I'm also host of the top 5% ranked show, The Power Transformation Podcast, and founder of Resilient Leaders Alliance. So connect with me. Let's have a conversation. I'm here to serve you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Theo, my friend, my
Yeah,
buddy,
man.
my brother.
T.O. Clay of Lightbulb Lessons, www.lightbulblessons.com. If you go there, it's going to open up the portal to real leadership. And today is a perfect example. We are about leadership. You know, we help leaders develop as leaders. We help you get to that new level, which you'll still be at the basement of, but we help leaders develop in the home, in the workplace, in the community via the 5 pillar light framework. That's love, intellect, greatness, health, and truth. Those 5 pillars. And all the things that we spoke about today are all tied into that. I'd love to work with you, speak with you. Um, that's it. Lastly, you said earlier, seafood, you said gratitude, moment of gratitude. Today, I am grateful for the ability to focus. I'm
Mhm.
grateful for a great night of real rest. I'm grateful for the ability to properly discern when the enemy tries to infiltrate my mindset, as my sister
Mhm.
talked about earlier. So thank you
Mhm.
for having us on. We have to do this again.
Thank
I'm
you.
holding you accountable to that, Seafood. We have to do this again, bro. Thank you.
Mhm.
You know about accountability, right? You can set your clock by me. So let's do
Yes,
it.
that's it.
Everybody, God bless. Make sure you
God bless.
share this show. Great, great insights. You have to listen to it again. I know I
Mhm.
will. I know Tio will. I know Lethea will. And share it with somebody who needs to hear this incredible message that was created just for you. We'll see you next time.